Your mother is sitting at the kitchen table with a dental estimate in front of her, $3,800. She has already decided she'll put it on a credit card and deal with it later. She says it casually because this is how money has always worked in your family. Something breaks, somebody gets sick, the car needs work, and the bill gets pushed into the future. You're listening while knowing your net worth crossed $1.1 million 3 months ago. You could pay the bill before she finishes her coffee, and suddenly being a millionaire feels more complicated than you expected. Paying $3,800 is easy. What happens after people realize you can? Your brother's car dies, a cousin wants help with a business, your parents need work done on the house. Where does helping end and becoming the family bank begin? Nobody taught you this because nobody in your family ever had to learn it. There was no rich grandfather, no inheritance, no relative who understood tax strategy or investing. Growing up, doing well meant the bills were paid and there was still something left before the next paycheck. Now there's you. 7 figures, you pay the dental bill. Your mother argues, eventually gives in, and tells you she'll pay you back. You both know she probably won't. Driving home, you realize the first million isn't changing your lifestyle yet. It's changing your role in the family. 10 years earlier, nobody would have picked you. At 25, you have a few $1,000s saved, an old car, some debt, and a retirement account you barely understand. There is no cinematic moment where you suddenly become brilliant with money. You just get tired of rebuilding from zero. You save $4,000. The car needs work. You rebuild it, then you move. You get a raise and realize that somehow the extra money disappears just as easily as the old salary did. So you begin changing small things. 5% into retirement becomes 8, later 12. When your income rises, some of the raise gets invested before your lifestyle can claim it. You open a brokerage account and put in $500. The first week it gains $11 and you feel like a genius. Then it drops 30 and you start reading headlines like "The economy personally betrayed you." Eventually you calm down. The balance grows. By 30, maybe you have $80,000 between investments and cash. Credit card debt is gone. Your car is paid off. From the outside, your life looks almost unchanged. That's probably why wealth building is so easy to underestimate. The important part is happening in accounts nobody sees. The first $100,000 takes forever. And once you finally have it, you start seeing money differently. A purchase no longer has one price. You know what $10,000 could become if it stayed invested for 20 years, which briefly turns you into an unbearable person. Your brother mentions buying a $48,000 truck. You immediately start doing math. If you invested the difference, I want the truck. Fair enough. That conversation teaches you something useful. Other people do not want to live inside your spreadsheet, so you stop trying to convert everyone. You keep going. $100,000 becomes $180,000, then $260,000. Your income grows, markets help. You negotiate harder when changing jobs because having savings makes rejection less frightening. Then one year your investments make nearly as much as you contributed. That gets your attention. Until then, you were pushing the entire machine yourself. Now the machine is starting to push back. Around $400,000 or $500,000. Something strange happens. You still don't look rich. Your car is old. Your clothes are normal. You still complain when a restaurant charges $12 for something that should cost $6, but financially, you have become very difficult to scare. Your company cuts bonuses, annoying, but manageable. Rent rises. You can move without waiting for payday to cover the deposit. The car makes a terrible noise. You book the repair instead of spending the night, wondering which bill gets delayed. Then your brother calls because layoffs are coming at his company. He is terrified. You listen to him calculate rent, insurance, and how long his savings might last. You remember doing the same thing, and that conversation makes the value of what you've built painfully obvious. Two people can earn almost the same salary and experience the same job loss completely differently. One has time, the other has a countdown. You've been buying time without realizing it. Eventually, the spreadsheet says $1,012,600. You check it twice. For years, you imagined this number would feel enormous. Instead, you're sitting at home in an old t-shirt. You take a screenshot. Then you stare at the share button. Who exactly are you supposed to send this to? Your parents would be proud, but your mother might immediately start worrying that you'll lose it. Your brother would probably tell somebody. The family group chat is completely out of the question, so the screenshot stays on your phone. The next morning you go to work, and nobody has any idea. That's your introduction to being a millionaire. Surprisingly normal. But the number quietly changes decisions. Your manager offers you a promotion, better salary, worse hours, more stress, constant availability. 5 years earlier, the extra money would have made the decision for you. Now you think about what the raise would actually change in your life. Not much. You decline. Your father cannot understand it. You turn down more money? Yeah. Why? Because eventually money becomes valuable for what it allows you to refuse. He still thinks you're slightly insane. Eventually somebody in the family figures it out. At dinner, a relative jokes. "What are you, a millionaire now?" You hesitate half a second too long. That's enough. Most people are completely normal about it. Your parents are proud. Your sister finds it funny that you have 7 figures and still haven't replaced your cracked phone. But money begins sneaking into conversations. Someone jokes when you want to split a restaurant bill. Another relative starts explaining an investment opportunity with suspicious enthusiasm. Then someone close to you needs $18,000. They've made the same financial mistake more than once, and previous rescues haven't changed much. You offer to help with part of it. They look genuinely hurt. With what you have. That sentence is difficult to forget. Because yes, technically you can afford it, but that doesn't mean every problem around you automatically becomes yours. This is where the first millionaire in a family can get trapped. Each request looks small compared with your net worth. 10,000 here, 5,000 there. Help with a car. Cover this emergency. The harder cost is what happens to relationships when money becomes part of them. So you get quieter about what you have and more careful about what you solve. Your father mentions that he has always wanted to see Italy. You've heard him say it before. This time you notice his age. So you book the trip. Good hotels, comfortable flights, no ridiculous 14-hour connection to save $200. The total makes the old version of you uncomfortable. You pay it anyway. A couple months later, you're sitting at dinner with your parents somewhere they assumed they would never visit. Your dad looks at the bill and says, €6 for water? Are these people insane? That memory lasts longer than anything you could have bought for yourself. And it changes the way you spend. You're still careful, but you become less interested in proving you can own expensive things. You test drive the $90,000 car you once obsessed over and realize you mostly enjoyed knowing you could buy it. You leave in your old car, but spending money to create time with people you love becomes easier. That is a very different kind of luxury. Then markets drop. Your $1.3 million becomes $1.8 million. A few months later, $970,000. Technically, you're not a millionaire anymore. For years, 1 million felt like a permanent border. Apparently, it's more of a revolving door. The headlines are ugly. People around you start selling. A friend moves most of his retirement account to cash because he wants to wait until things settle down. You are tempted too, but your house didn't disappear. The businesses inside your index funds still exist. Your emergency cash is still there. So you leave everything alone. Eventually the market recovers. One day you notice your net worth is back above 7 figures. You don't screenshot it. That matters. The first time, the number felt like an identity. Now you understand it's just a measurement. Years later, your niece gets her first real job. She calls because HR gave her a benefits package full of terms she doesn't understand. 401k, employer match, Roth, index funds. You meet after work and explain the basics. Then she asks, "So how much should I invest?" That question catches you. She didn't ask whether investing is worth doing. She assumes she should. You help her set up the account. The first contribution is small, maybe $250. But she is starting at 22. You didn't properly understand this stuff until years later. That gap matters more than almost anything you could hand her. A few years pass. She calls again. Her investments crossed $100,000. She thinks you're exaggerating when you tell her how big that is. You aren't. You remember your first 100,000. You had to learn while making every beginner mistake yourself. She had someone to call. And that's when the meaning of being the first millionaire changes. Your family still isn't perfect with money. Someone still overspends. Somebody will absolutely finance a ridiculous car. There will always be one relative with an investment idea nobody asked for. But the starting line moved. The younger people in your family grow up knowing what a retirement account is. They've seen somebody survive a market crash without panicking. They know building wealth is possible without winning a lottery or becoming famous. Eventually, another person in the family crosses 1 million. Then maybe another, and 20 years from now, nobody treats it like some impossible event. Someone will point at you and say, "He was the first." You'll probably laugh and change the subject, because by then, being first won't feel like the achievement anymore. The achievement will be that you weren't the last.